And a very good morning. Actually, it's just about to go afternoon now on this Friday afternoon. Hope you all are exceedingly well and really winding down. I don't know. I'm a pretty motivated individual, but God, I'm battling with towards the end of the year. I think sort of not losing focus, but just ready for the year to be over, to take some holiday, and to be able to come back in 2013 on our take things to a whole other level. The good news is as well, we survived. So I know there was. There's talk of a whole world change or something like that, Mayans, something to do with the Mayans, but we're all here now, which is great. So let's crack on with this. We've got HD Home Depot with an upward trending support line, bounce, bounce, bounce. Nice little up there put in yesterday, nothing you haven't seen there before. Then we have CCC, and here we have some degree of downward trending resistance. Again, bounce, bounce, bounce. Lows are getting lower, which is a nice sign. And it put in a doji, and then it put a little bit of a down day in yesterday, so that's again nothing you haven't seen there before. Really, there's no reason why people are making money now. There's a lot of awesome trades out there. SOHU, Sierra Oscar Hotel Umbrella. My computer seems to have frozen. Sorry folks, this brief interlude. Okay, so that was SOHU, and then we have some resistance around about the $40 mark, some internal support maybe around about the $38 mark. Zoom in there. We had these setups are just phenomenal. Okay, well, you got a doji there, a slight downward day there as well. Then we have PX. Okay, which is some resistance around about 109, internal support maybe around about 105, maybe a bit shy there. PX, then we have HL, upward trending support line, bounce, 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 some short-term resistance on the internal here. Yep, nothing overly. ACXM. And again, upward trending support line, bounce, 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 bounce. No major issues there. You'd have to get the entry point right though. That entry point right there is not, I wouldn't be happy with that. I'd like to see a little doji set up there if I was going to take the trade. But that's a pretty wild trade to take right now. Then we have AVNW. And then we have some resistance around about 3.2. Only 2 bounces though, so not sure why it's on the list. BFS. Oh, BFS. Upward trending support line, bounce, bounce, bounce. It has, it's not quite on it yet. There's a downward trending resistance line as well, so that could be interesting to see which way that breaks. Then we have BONT. Upward trending support line, downward trending resistance line. I think we spoke about this one the other day actually. It's come to that resistance line, so it's not ready to trade right now if you're looking for the long position there. Then we had Charlie Foxtrot. Upward trending support line again. Put in a little bit of a hammer there. Yep, you'd have to work out your ratios on that. Clear zoom. Clear zoom. Charlie Foxtrot. Then we have Charlie Lima. Upward trending support line, bounce, bounce. Maybe it's broken through a little bit here. That might put me off, but we can probably move it down a little bit. And again, it's put in a little bit of a doji by the looks of things yesterday. Colgate Palmolive. EDAC. Some slightly upward trending support there, I guess. Again, depending on what else you're looking at. Then we have FRP. Upward trending support line, some area of resistance around about the $8 mark. So just to be aware of that. Then we have HD. We've done HD already. Then we have NTSC. Upward trending support, bounce, bounce, bounce. Some downward trending resistance as well. Interesting to see what happens here. A little bit of a breakout one way or the other. Could be very interesting to see what happens there. Probably one I'd probably stay away from stocks like that at the moment because there's just so much indecision there, you know. If there's not a downward trending resistance line, I'm a lot more inclined to actually take the trade. Then we have PDLI. Upward trending support line, bounce, 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 bounce. Maybe some downward trending, short-term downward trending resistance line there. Then we have S for sugar, short-term from beginning of August, bounces all the way up there. Let's put in some smaller days there, which is quite nice to see. That is a better kind of entry point when you get the smaller days coming down. Then we have T. Again, upward trending support line. It really rallied up quite nicely and it's sold off. And you see it's put in a little, very small, shorter term upward trending resistance line. So, yep, the stock has been going up, then it's come back down and bouncing around there at the moment. Pretty much within that channel again. AT&T. That's one we've been looking at a few times, actually. I think we've seen that stock. Yeah, T. Then we had VMI. Upward trending support line there. Nothing. You see, it's kind of difficult for me to go through more details here for you at the moment because we've covered a lot of the stuff. RNF. The bounces going up here, probably mid-range, so that one shouldn't have been included because it's well, I mean, it's bounced maybe 2 days ago, but yeah, it's sort of mid-range at the moment. ABFS. ABFS, we've got a downward trending resistance line here. Bounce, bounce, bounce all the way down. The lows are getting slightly lower. It has rallied up a little bit, but you see the amount of indecision that's come in here over the last few days. So there's been sort of some ups and downs, a couple of dojis in there as well. Let me add the CACI. I saw this trade as having gone. Yes, there was some resistance around about $57.50 mark, and then it sold off a little bit. But I think obviously the trade has gone on that one. Then we had CAT, mind you, probably only sold off yesterday. Some resistance around about the 92.50 mark, around that area. Again, the stock has gapped those, gapped down, and have moved on. Then we have CEVA. CEVA. Downward trending resistance line, bounce, 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 bounce. Again, just to be aware that the highs are getting a little bit, the lows are getting a little bit higher here. But again, you see, this is the thing, folks. This is really what I'm keen on getting to grips with. Having a look at these two different stocks. If you'd had a look at this on Wednesday, that's an entry point right there. That is an entry point. It's put in sort of a little bit of indecision. It's come to the resistance line. But if you had have used a stop order, because it's a downward trending resistance line, you would have had to have your stop order, your stop entry point 1% below here, and your stop loss 1% above here. But look at how you've almost halved your risk. So on the second day, if you had placed the trade yesterday, or what have you in comparison, you're actually cutting your risk in half there. So because you're halving your risk, you're actually doubling your potential reward, because you're taking away half your risk. Therefore, you're doubling your ratio anyway. Okay, and it's these tiny little things that make a huge difference when it comes to the end of your trading month, your trading year. We have CLF. Again, the downward trending resistance line, bounce, bounce, bounce. Again, I mean, this is just it's if you're getting these kind of ratios, and you know that this is nice. There's been upward trending. The stock's been coming up quite nicely. There have been some down days as well, so it's not too strong as it comes up to the resistance line particularly. And you're looking at 35 as an entry point, and potentially 28 down there as the range. I mean, that's a nice looking situation, and a perfect setup, absolutely perfect setup. No recommendations, as you know. But it's just we are becoming absolutely spoilt for choice with these express reviews. We really are. That was the only challenge with this strategy, was that there were stocks that you weren't always able to get the stocks working together at the right times. The stocks actually at exactly the right times. But because we're all working together now, particularly again, I'm going to say, Samet, you're coming up with some absolutely stonking stocks, some absolutely brilliant stocks. We've overcome the last challenge. If you're hedging, you're doing 3-to-1s. There is no way you should be making any losses. You should only be making money on these kind of trades. Admittedly, I do know it takes a little while, but you know where I'm coming from. So we've got this downward trending resistance line, bounce, bounce, bounce. All the fun of the fair there. No issues. Nothing I'd be concerned about there. Then we have HME. Again, a downward trending resistance line. Now, this in contrast, you see how it's been a big up day. I wouldn't be going anywhere near the stock right now, because this is just too big an entry point for you to get into the trade. So, because it's such a big move, if you wanted to trade this, you'd have to be getting in 1% below here, 1% above here. It's too much of a big move. I would feel very hesitant taking that trade, unless it put in maybe a day or two of consolidation. Okay. So just to be aware of that. And again, folks, it's not, I never talk really the reasons why we do what to do in a specific situation, but what I do try to teach you is the reasons why we do what we do. Okay, because then you can apply it to anything else. And we got bounce, 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 so 3 bounces, no problems. It's put in a bit of a consolidation here, so yeah, it's spent some time on that resistance line right now. And interesting enough, notice how the stock gaps to the downside a lot of the time. It can sell off quite quickly. You see there, if we zoom in here, you see how it's gapped down here, and then, oopsie, clear zoom, and then it gapped down here as well, this area here. It sold off very quickly here as well. So just, it's all about seeing what the stock is actually telling you. There's a lot of people who bang on about the stocks, and they know this and they know that and the next thing, but listen to what the stock's telling you. Look at what it's showing you. That's quite powerful. And yeah, then we got the downward trending resistance line here. I'd say we're possibly what I wouldn't look at, because it's broken that resistance line. MCD, McDonald's, and then we have ONN, ONNN, I think. Resistance at around about 7, so bounce, bounce, bounce. Maybe sold off maybe a day late on that one, but I do like that the lows have got slightly lower here as well. RPXC, downward trending resistance line. The thing to be aware of here is obviously you've got some degree of short-term support coming in, and it has sold off pretty significantly from about $20 within the year. So it might just be finding some support around there as well. RPXC. Then we have UEIC. Some slightly downward trending resistance. Again, you're going to be looking for your entry point to be correct there. Then we have Apple. No, I had a look at Apple. I wasn't interested in it at all, so it wasn't something that was looking too good for me at the time. FXS. Resistance at around about the 5250 mark. Again, this is a gappy stock, folks, a real gappy stock. Not something you want to be trading, because if you get into those trades, it can be quite challenging, because you're getting in at different prices and what have you. Okay, then we have resistance at around about the 1380 mark, approaching there. No major issues with that. Again, you just want to find yourself a good entry point. That's Manulife again, isn't it? STT. I think we covered all of these in the previous videos, actually. Okay, so then STT. Again, the resistance line at around about the $46 mark. some short-term upward trending support there. Next, BDX, downward trending resistance line, bounce. Again, a stock that can sell off quite aggressively. It sold off aggressively there, it sold off aggressively there. These are the kind of stocks you don't want to be getting in when the stock is gapping down, because goodness knows what price you can get in at. But again, so much of this is, it's not just about the rules, but it's about the entry points. It's about that trade management, and that's really what I look to. FDX, that's really what I look to teach you guys on the calls as well. We've got a downward trending resistance line. Again, a very, very big day there. Certainly not one that I'll be looking to trade because of that huge day. It just doesn't give me the entry point there. FDX, then we have JBSS. Some resistance at around about the $19.50 mark. Yep. No worries with that. Then we have LLTC, which is Linear Tech. Again, some resistance around about the $34 mark. Yeah. You see these stocks, they keep coming back up, and you get a pretty good idea of what they're up to. And then we've got, I'm not sure why this one was bought in. We've got some resistance around about the 1950 mark. It's obviously not there yet, but yeah, some resistance around there. So, folks, that is the video for today. I hope that, I mean, there's just so many stocks there. Get your entry points right. Make sure you got your ratios. And this is a license to, well, I'm going to sound like a bad man saying this now, but it's a license to print money. Once you've got an ability to understand the trades, understanding yourself, getting your psychology right, not thinking about your trading when you're lying in bed or anything like that, this really is, it's very, very tough not to be making money when you have this kind of setup that we have here at the moment. Regards, obviously, the support, regarding the, coming together and doing all these reviews of the stocks and stuff like that. There is no reason why you shouldn't be making money, because particularly if you get your ratios right, you just need one big trade that really goes your way, and those will come up from time to time. So I hope that's been helpful, and I will not speak to you on Monday, but I will do Wednesday and I will do Friday for you, possibly. We'll see how we go. Folks, listen, I won't speak to you beforehand, so have an absolutely great Christmas, and yeah, I'm sure I'll be on the forum in the interim there. So all the very best. Have a great Christmas, and all the very best from Paul Harrison and my family. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.